Hello everyone, and welcome to the Kenyon Sports Connections presentation of the Erin O'Neill Show, and with our special guest this week, Molly O'Connor. Thank you both for being here. Starting off, you guys blanked twice in a doubleheader by DePaul. Coach, what did you think make the bats dry up there, and what did you struggle with?
It was one of the more unbelievable things that I've ever seen because DePaul committed 5 errors in the first game. And, we had bases loaded a few times. If you ever would tell me that we were on the flip side of that and that we would shut out a team with the amount of base runners that we had and opportunities, I would think that you were absolutely crazy. So it was a little bit frustrating. It was very frustrating. We just couldn't come up with that big hit on Saturday or on Sunday. But softball, it's one of those games, and we've got to bounce back. And the next time that we're in those situations, I think that we will prevail.
And kind of next question for both of you. With that performance, not being able to get those runs across, do you think those corrections need to be physical corrections, how you're hitting, how you're running the bases, or mental corrections?
Mm-hmm. A little bit physical. You can always make things better with practice, and we're going to focus on some things in practice today and tomorrow as we prepare for Capital and Oberlin later this week that hopefully will help us physically. But I really believe it's all mental. I think sometimes the girls put too much pressure on themselves and make more of the situations than it needs to be, and it backfires. And I think that was really evident. We talked about this after the game in the 7th inning of the second game. People just got in there and hit. It was like almost that there's nothing to lose mentality. And if they would just take that approach early on in the game, then we would be a lot more successful early instead of waiting until the 7th inning.
And Molly, I don't know what you think about it being out there on the field. What do you think? Does it need to be more of a physical approach to correcting or mental?
I think it's definitely a mental thing, like Coach said, but I also think it's a question of individual versus team. So I think that, defensively and offensively, we have those members who can come up and make those plays. Meredith Williams had a great play up the middle, and Maddie Stark had a couple of great hits. Lindsay Susulik really went after it. And so we obviously have all the elements in place, and I think it's just a matter of putting it together as a team. So, get the walk, hit the double, and sort of just having all of those things come together. Let the defensive play be your motivation and your energy to get into the box and really score a run. And I think that that is obviously a physical thing. You have to make the hit, you have to make the play, but it also comes with, wanting to be there and wanting to win and sort of having this fired up mentality and being ready to go out there and win these conference competitions.
All right, well, now for everyone's favorite part of the show, the off-topic topic. And we wanted to know, a lot of athletes, they have their routine, their favorite pregame meal. And we wanted to know, what is your pregame meal of choice?
Well, I'm not superstitious or do the same thing, but some sushi from the CAC is always a good choice.
Little publicity there, all right.
And, or going up to Pierce and seeing the girls before a game is always fun, see what kind of energy they have, and just sort of start getting into that game mode, so.
I also am not superstitious. I eat a lot. I'm really into chicken wraps right now, like a nice piece of grilled chicken on a spinach tortilla is really good. I'm more of an in-game food kind of person, so I only eat like specific things since I started playing. I like peanut butter granola bars. I like plain deli jerky, and that's like, I've started to come out of it, but in high school it was really bad. I wouldn't eat anything but that during games and during all tournament weekends. It was a nutritional hazard.
Oh, Coach, you're going to have to break her from that a little bit on something.
By during game, she doesn't sit over on the sideline housing some deli jerky. I think she means in between games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say.
She just doesn't watch me. I'm in the corner of the dugout.
We're going to have to pan over to the dugout sometimes during these games and catch some in-shot actions. All right. Jumping back in this, a little bit predictions now coming up, what you think is going to happen. We have, Capital University coming up and then Oberlin. What do those two teams bring to the table, and what are you going to do to counteract that?
Well, I'm incredibly disappointed that we're not playing today. It is so beautiful in Gambier, but obviously we had some snow on Sunday, especially, where Hiram is. So we understand that. But we haven't played Capital in a long time. So I'm really excited to play them. They're always top in the OAC, and I think it's really going to be a good challenge for us. So I'm very excited about that. And then Oberlin, they have just been getting better and better and better, over the last 5 years. particularly in the last 2 years, they've gotten a lot better. So I think it's going to be a good challenge. And like we've talked about before, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We just have to, try and get on target with our hitting and continue pitching and playing defense the way that we have and set the tone. Play Kenyon Ladies softball.
Well, if we want to talk a little about hitting here, focusing in on Molly, 16 hits, 19 RBIs. How have you been getting it done so well at the plate?
It's just sort of softball. I'm not, I got asked this question in my NCAC interview for Player of the Week, and I don't really know how to answer it because it's not like there's some formula. It's not like there's, I hit my bat twice on the ground and then I look at the pitcher. It's just sort of what I do, and I just get in there and I hit. And I think that a big factor in, I guess, my performance this season has been really wanting to do it for my team. So, we have Maddie Stark or Sylvie Thomas out there pitching a great game, or we have those great plays like the one Mare made this weekend, or, a great catch in the outfield. And you just, when you have your defense working so hard for you, you want to get in the box and you want to produce runs for them. So I think the fact that, everyone on the team is working so hard has made me just want to work even harder.
You mentioned being NCAC Player of the Week early March. You received that honor. Can you just talk about what it's like to receive that and how did that feel?
It feels really great. It's incredibly validating to work really hard and then have that pay off. But more than anything, it's just nice to know that the work that you're doing is something that matters to your team and to the community. And I think that it's really important to sort of get in there and do these things not with these awards in mind and not thinking about it and just going in there and doing it for your team. And that's really what I was thinking about in Florida and through these first 2 conference games. And then, the NCAC Player of the Week is just something on the side that happens. And what's really important, I think, is getting in there and, really working for the Kenyon Ladies softball team.
I'm sure Coach is pretty happy to hear that because that team attitude is always great to have. And for all the fans, April 3rd versus Capital University, a doubleheader starts off at 3:30 p.m. Come on out, support the ladies. And then 2 days later, April 5th, Oberlin College comes to Gambier, another doubleheader at 1 p.m. Come on out and support the ladies. For the Kenyon Sports Connection, I'm Matthew Ruskin. Coach O'Neill, Molly, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And fans, thank you for joining us. And tune in a week for another Erin O'Neill Show.